Hello and welcome. This is Africa in 10 minutes, where we bring to you trending business news from around the continent this week, courtesy Footprint to Africa. I'm Mike Mesikeno, it's great to have you on the show. Let's take a look at the highlights for this week. Nigeria's central bank seeks to charge MTN 15% interest on $8 billion claim. Nigeria and other African countries to benefit from European Union funds for sustainable development. Unemployment in sub-Saharan Africa to reach 2.2 million by next year. Africa's youngest entrepreneurs to compete for share of $100,000 cash prize. DRC economic crisis causes cobalt to become the most expensive material in smartphone batteries. And now the news in details. The Central Bank of Nigeria said the MTN Group should not be given an injunction which stops the South African-based wireless carrier from having to transfer $8.1 billion back to the West African country. The CBN wants MTN to pay a 15% annual interest on the sum until the court makes a judgment. The CBN court documents filed with the Federal High Court in Lagos also reveals that after the court judgment, the Apex Bank will like the MTN Group to pay 10% annual interest till the full amount is paid. In late August 2018, the CBN accused the MTN Group and four of its banks, Standard Chartered PLC, Citigroup Incorporation, Stanbic IBTC, and Diamond Bank to have illegally repatriated $8.1 billion from Nigeria. MTN had requested an injunction in September 2018 to buy time and fight the claim in the country. At a media conference held in Lagos, Richard Young, Minister, Deputy Head of a Delegation, European Union Delegation to Nigeria and Economic Community of West African States, said Nigeria, as well as some other African countries, will benefit from a 2.6 billion euros from the European Union Fund for Sustainable Development. The grant will improve the conditions under which public institutions and the private sector working with international financial institutions can borrow for investment purposes. Young noted that the grants will be released to two regional investment platforms, which include the African Investment Platform and Neighborhood Investment Platform. Both platforms, which have a budget of 2.6 billion euros, are an existing grant now refocused towards meeting the objective of the European External Investment Plan. The number of people who will be without jobs in sub-Saharan Africa could reach 2.2 million, about 7.6% increase by 2019. Ghana's Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research at the University of Ghana has projected. According to ISSER, the unemployment numbers for sub-Saharan Africa are expected to increase from 29.1 million to 31.3 million in 2019. The report, released on Tuesday, October 2nd, indicated that unemployment among the youth, that is, persons between 15 and 24 years of age, remains much higher than among other groups of the labor force in most economies. It further said the situation is worsened by the trickling effect of previous episodes of slow growth in the global economy. Even though globally the vulnerable employment rate has dropped from 42.9% to 42.5% as of last year, that of developing countries like Ghana still hover at 76.5%. The MasterCard Foundation, in partnership with the African Leadership Academy, has this week announced that 20 of Africa's youngest and brightest entrepreneurs will join the Anzicha Fellowship, a lifelong affiliation that will help accelerate their plan to entrepreneurship success. On Tuesday, October 23, 2018, these 20 finalists will compete for the Anzicha Prize, Africa's premier award for her youngest entrepreneurs. The Anzicha Prize awards young entrepreneurs who have developed and implemented innovative solutions to social challenges or started successful businesses within their communities. Selected from a pool of over 600 applicants from 13 countries, The finalists are armed with the tools they need to grow their business and attract investment, and are coached and mentored by industry experts. As Anzisha Fellows, they emerge as role models, igniting the entrepreneurial spirit within their peers and creating job opportunities in their communities. Now in its 8th year, the Anzisha Prize program attracts young entrepreneurs from across Africa, and for the first time, the prize is recognizing the achievements of entrepreneurs from Benin, Libya, and Sierra Leone. Applicants represent a wide variety of entrepreneurial efforts from manufacturing, mining, and healthcare, but agripreneurs continue to dominate the applicant pool. An ongoing economic crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo has seen the price of cobalt skyrocket over the past 2 decades. This is according to one of the latest reports from international consultancy PricewaterhouseCoopers. The crisis stems from the country's broader political climate, civil unrest, and poor economic policies, as DRC President Joseph Kabila has stayed in power beyond his constitutionally mandated 2-term limit. Though the DRC is rich in natural resources, economists have argued that it needs a stable government at the helm to steer the country towards prosperity. DRC's cobalt industry has been highlighted as one of the sectors affected by instability. Cobalt has become the most expensive material in the portable lithium-ion battery used in smartphones and electric vehicles. The industry now represents about half of the market for the metal. These revelations come at a time when the DRC has 69% of a global cobalt production share. On that note, we come to the end of this week's episode of Africa in 10 Minutes. Let's take a recap of the stories. Nigeria's central bank seeks to charge MTN 15% interest on $8 billion claim. Nigeria and other African countries to benefit from European Union funds for sustainable development. Unemployment in sub-Saharan Africa to reach 2.2 million by next year. Africa's youngest entrepreneurs to compete for share of $100,000 cash prize. DRC economic crisis causes cobalt to become the most expensive material in smartphone batteries. You can send in questions, make comments, and keep up with the news on our various social media channels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, connect with us on LinkedIn, and follow us on Twitter. Visit www.footprint2Africa, where these stories were called from. Footprint to Africa, business news made in Africa, by Africans, for Africa.